On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2021 Trek Marlin 5. The Marlin is in Trek's entry-level hardtail mountain bike series, and we're going to go into some of the features and designs of this Trek Marlin 5, as well as find out exactly what it weighs. But before we get started, be sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you can see more videos like this into the future. So checking out this 2021 Trek Marlin 5, we should talk about what the Trek Marlin series is all about. The Trek Marlin series is a hardtail front suspension mountain bike that bridges the gap between somebody who would like a hybrid but also wants the capability of a full-on mountain bike, or it's for a value-conscious rider that's going to be out hitting some trails. Now, the Marlin series blends both of those together pretty well, and it makes for a great first bike for a younger rider, or for, say, that rider that's needing to be able to commute and wants to be able to have a thicker tire, or just wants a more robust bike. And so to accomplish this, this Marlin 5 is going to be set up with front suspension, which is going to be 100 millimeters of travel. It's going to have Trek's Alpha Series aluminum frame, which is going to feature internal cable routing. It's also going to feature great things like rear rack mounts, so that way you can run a rack on the back of the bike to be able to carry your stuff to work or use it as a hybrid. It also has a rear kickstand mount, which I really like on this bike because it's a direct mount setup, so it's not going to be in the way if you were to take it mountain biking with that. And then the Marlin 5 is going to be set up with this 3x7 drivetrain, which is going to give a pretty wide range of gearing. Now, it's not quite as ideal as, say, a 1x drivetrain for true mountain biking, but if you're going to be using this on the street as a rugged commuter, having those extra gears is certainly going to be helpful. So if we jump into the specs, we'll start with the 1.1/8" head tube here, which matches up to an SR Sun Tour XCE fork. This XCE fork runs 28 millimeter stanchions. There is some preload adjust to this bike. It's also going to run a 9 millimeter quick release on the front. And for a wheel set, this bike's going to be set up with Trek's Connection rims. So these Connection rims are double wall, they're 32 hole, and they've got a 20 millimeter width, which should give pretty good support to the Bontrager XR2 tires. These Bontrager XR2 tires are going to be a 29 by 2.2 up front and a 29 by 2.0 in the rear. And that brings me to one of the other neat things about this series. So the model we're looking at here is in a size medium, and that means that this is going to have 29-inch wheels. Now, in the size extra small and small, they'll set this bike up in a 27.5-inch version. Medium and larger, it's all going to be 29. And they do that because Trek believes that you want the largest wheel size that fits the frame, because a larger wheel size is both going to make the bike a little bit faster since it can roll over things a bit easier, but it also makes for a more confident bike, because if you think about it, as you get a larger tire, it means the ratio between the tire and the obstacle gets changed so that the tire is going to have a better time getting over whatever that obstacle is. Now, on the drivetrain, this is that 3x7 drivetrain as we mentioned. It's going to run a Shimano Tourney TY300 rear derailleur. It's going to be set up with a Shimano HG200 cassette. This is a 12 to 32 tooth cassette. Runs through a KMC C7 chain to a Tourney TY300 front derailleur. And then this is going to have the Tourney 301 crankset. This is a square taper crankset. It's going to run a 42, 34, 24 ring combination. As we go up on the frame through the seat tube, you'll notice we've got an aluminum 31.6 seat post and this Bontrager Arvada saddle. And then on the cockpit, we're going to have a 31.8 handlebar, a nice wide handlebar. It's going to run an alloy 31.8 stem, and the stem is going to be set up to be able to accept blender connections, so you can get your phone or a bicycle light, things like that, mounted centrally on the bike. And then you're gonna have these Bontrager XR Endurance Comp grips, which I really like because they've got a flat portion to them, nice ergonomic shape to be able to keep your hand nice and comfortable. For brakes, this is set up with Textro's HD M276. And then for shifters, this bike is set up with Shimano's Altus M315 7-speed shifter. This is also an upgrade over the 2020 model with having the M315 rather than the M310. So now that we've taken a look at some of the features and designs of this Trek Marlin 5, let's go ahead and find out what this bike weighs. The actual weight of a Trek Marlin 5 in a size medium comes in at 30.18 pounds. Well, thanks for watching this video on the Trek Marlin 5. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And while you're at it, leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know you enjoyed the video.